and graduating tomorrow. So on behalf of the class, we thank you for everything. To the Tufts class of 2014, we made it. In less than 24 hours, we'll be receiving our diplomas, packing our bags, and moving forward with our post-college life. We'll be joining this thing called the real world that is no longer within our Tufts bubble. But before we talk about what's to come next, let's bring it back to the beginning. Let's bring it way back to matriculation day and where it all started. Now, I don't know about you, but I remember matriculation day like it just happened. It was like 98 degrees out, just as hot as it feels in these robes right now. Half of us were sitting in the scorching heat, while the other half was in the back cooling under some trees. We sat randomly with people we barely knew, making awkward small talk about nothing important. Former President Bacow made the quintessential speech about all the impressive features of the incoming class, making 99.9% of us feel like we hadn't accomplished anything besides getting into Tufts. But what I distinctly remember about matriculation day was the moment all the families got in their cars and left. We said our final goodbyes, and just like that, they were gone. I recall standing there right in front of Baloo Hall, right by the jumbo statue my parents left me. I turned around, I thought, well, okay, now what? We didn't really know anyone, and it's not like we had much to do. Our options were to either walk around aimlessly with a group of people we just met, or go back to our dorms that felt safe and secure. And then, of course, you had family calling later, asking questions like, so, how's Tufts, or how's college, as if we're the first day of the third grade. But it's funny, because I remember standing there in front of Baloo Hall, frozen and stagnant. I was scared, because for the first time, something in life was really out of my sphere of control. And I realized that real risks had to be made in order to succeed and take advantage of my time here at Tufts. We were kind of just thrown into this phase of our life, and I don't mean to be overly dramatic. We're incredibly privileged to be here and have this opportunity. But for the first time, most of us were really on our own and had the liberty to start making our own life decisions, whether good or bad. We were in a new environment, making new friends and figuring out and developing our sense of self and character. For some, including myself, this transition was really difficult. That balance between putting yourself out there, but also focusing on your major priorities for being here. Some of us got through these 4 years with ease. But for the majority, this Tufts environment was, and still is, incredibly challenging and demanding. From difficult course loads, busy academic, athletic, and extracurricular schedules, taking care of our physical, mental, and emotional health. Having some doors shut in our face, but always seeking another one for support. Having people tell you or treat you like you're not enough, worthy, or a good fit. Coming from certain backgrounds and communities, and therefore having to adjust and navigate your way through these 4 years. Dealing with difficult people and confronting complex issues, but facing those challenges with adversity and accepting them fully, without a doubt or lack of courage. As privileged as we are to be here, it hasn't been an easy road. And for most of you in the back, you know that because you were most likely in the other end of that phone call. I can't tell you how many times my poor father had to hear me out through tears and sobs and guide me back on course. But we never walked this difficult road alone, because all of you made it possible to be here together. So to the previous question, how's college, which I hope we can answer now, it's been a different experience and fostered a distinctive sense of value for each person, so I really can't speak on everyone's time here. But as I said, we made it here today. All the late hours eating in the commons, all the all-nighters watching the sun rise and eat in computer lab, to all the places we traveled and people we met across the country and the world, to all the lasting relationships we have built and memories we made, to all the tears, laughs, inside jokes, struggle bus moments, and anticipation leading up to this weekend, we made it. So here we are, yeah, woo. So here we are today, ready to take on the next phase of our life. We're preparing ourselves for graduate school, careers, travel, time off with family, or time off with ourselves to reflect. There's this continuous ebb and flow in life that I find so serendipitous. The idea that everything happens for a reason, all the people we meet and experiences we have and places we go prepare us for what's next. If anything, the exposure we've had over the past 4 years, both good and bad, and the risks we have taken have gotten us to where we are today. The communities we have built around us have loved, supported, and nourished us with the strength to thrive and grow. But I challenge all of you, including myself, to never lose that desire to expose yourselves to new challenges and new experiences, to always take risks and not be calculated in your decisions. Because sometimes a decision is really not up to you. If there's something I have learned my time here at Tufts, is to always find the unexpected in the expected, to trailblaze your own path and not dictate that path ahead of time, to understand that life will not always be comfortable and smooth. Because then how would you learn about yourself, your true self, if things don't go horribly wrong sometimes? Remember to love yourselves and never compare your success with others, but rather use yourself as a measure of your own success. I remember that freshman Jessica standing alone and stuck, not knowing what was to come next. I remember that freshman class of 2014 figuring things out for themselves, making mistakes, taking risks, challenging themselves and challenging those around them. We made this experience our own over the past few years, shaping and molding it to fit our goals, our needs, and our desires. And now we are about to set out into the next phase of our life and start taking new risks, exposing ourselves to new places and new people, building communities for ourselves to support and love us wherever we are. It has all come full circle, and here we are today, together again in the same kind of space, celebrating this joyous occasion. So the next time you're scared, feeling a bit stuck, starting graduate school, your first day in the job, back home or across the world, remember the success you've all had here, the challenges you have overcome, the love you share with one another, and use that to motivate you and encourage you to progress and thrive for success of yourself and for those around you. I show gratitude for allowing me to speak for all of you today, and I wish you and your families the best of luck. Thank you. Woo!